We're gonna get into how to guarantee social media success. And there was this one thing that my mom always used to tell me, drive me crazy as a kid, and now I just say it all the time. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So, how can we guarantee that you are going to get more followers? And then, how do we guarantee you're gonna get more followers and then you're gonna get those followers to engage? And then how then do we guarantee that once you have more followers, you get them to engage, that they will then become customers? We're gonna get into a quick video as to what I firmly believe people online desire when they follow our accounts. Get into that now. We are in the studio today, back from a really wild and long day yesterday. I hear you guys went out to eat.
Yes.
Did you guys get drinks?
Yes.
You guys better have got drinks. I'm like,
we had a Bahama Mama and a Moscow Mule.
Wow, you guys are living your best life. I love that. Okay, so we had a great day yesterday. What we wanted to do was yesterday focus on who we ultimately want to attract, right? We have to create content that's gonna start bringing in the type of customers we wanna work with all the time. Now we're gonna focus on taking that content and building a strategy from it. So we're gonna have a 30,000 foot view of what we're going to do in our businesses for the next 30 days, and then walk away with a step-by-step plan on how to implement on that from the back end. I told the girls, the ladies, our boss babes, that it's gonna feel like we're drinking from a fire hydrant, and I get that. But I believe that when you hold your feet to the fire, you become callous and ready to walk the long walk that it's going to take to actually put this into action. So welcome to day 2. If you thought yesterday was a long day, let's get some caffeine, let's get you hydrated. This is gonna be the formal start of actually our strategy component for this boot camp. But before we get there, I really wanna get calibrated and understand how you guys are feeling after yesterday. So I think it would be interesting and helpful for people who are investing in a branding shoot to talk about how they feel the second day, having not seen the images, having thought of what they could have, should have done, or what are you feeling after yesterday?
I'm excited to see the photos, actually. But I was always just kind of, the wheels are turning, like
what we can
do with those, already thinking ahead, like how to relate that back to our ideal client. Or
well, even the difference, like in the flat lays, like the way that we've done them in the past was different than the way, and it's made us rethink it. Like after watching you, like thinking about our ideal client.
So how did you do it before?
Well, like we always felt like we had to have our product in it, 100%. And like our products are big and hard to photograph, and so like they never looked quite right. But now I feel like you don't have to have your product in it as long as it's something that speaks to your ideal client.
Absolutely.
So
cool. That's good.
I'm excited to see them. I think it was a good experience being in front of the camera because I was not thinking I'd be like in front of the camera as much. I thought the brand was just going to be my brand, and I'm just a little bit separate, I guess. And so I'm excited to see it and see how it's incorporated and where that's gonna.
And I think you guys will see distinct events. Now, I could obviously push you, Caitlin, or encourage you to get into one direction, but when you go back home, you're gonna know what's best for you.
And it gave direction. I think it gave me a whole new perspective of like, okay, I need to be a little bit more like in the forefront here and show up instead of just hiding behind my computer.
we discussed that last night too.
yeah.
Good. Then I don't have to convince you of anything.
I mean, it might take us some time to get confidence, but
Absolutely. We're gonna talk about why I feel that's important. Do I feel like it's important for every single business? No.
yeah.
But do I feel like it's important for a lot of the businesses in the marketplace? Yeah, specifically in competitive marketplaces. And we'll get to that in a second. So as long as we're on that same page, I love that. So I know that a lot of us have these conversations about social media struggles. And I feel like after listening to it, like I speak to thousands of business owners, and a lot of times what I hear is people are like, I don't feel like I'm being authentic, or I'm being my true self, or I don't know how to show up, which boils down to a word that I call is known. I don't know if I'm known. And I know that people don't have conversations over drinks with their friends. Like, I don't feel like I'm known on Instagram. But at the core of it, it's kind of like, I don't know how to be myself. I don't know how to be comfortable. And even on a deeper level, people are like, what are people gonna think?
Well, and I think our issue is like, we don't know how much to share.
Good.
And especially with it being a product-based brand, even though we are behind the brand. So like, what do we share about our personal, like
How much and what's too much?
We'll get to that when we start breaking out what the brand looks like and what ultimately you guys want to be putting out. So then another struggle would be, I don't know if people are seeing my posts, right? I don't know if they actually connect with me. And I don't know, it's like, I feel like whenever I'm putting something out, people don't talk back to me. So we have 3 main pressure points. Now, people don't sit around like, I don't know if I'm known, seen, and heard. But at the end of it, y'all have nodded to the overall sense. So those are gonna be the big focuses. We want to get you known, we want to get you seen, and we want to get you heard. And how do we know people are hearing you? When they talk back to you. So those are gonna be our 3 measurements of connection. So we need to know precisely what you're about. We need to know precisely what makes your business special. And we need precisely your industry differentiation. So this is not about being cool. It's not about being popular. This is about y'all showing up in a big way of people saying, this is what Caitlin's about in her industry. This is what Highway 3 is all about. And guess what? It's not about your services and it's not about your products, but we're gonna get to that. Now that we've laid the foundation, that I have identified at least one or a few things that you could possibly be feeling about your Instagram or Facebook or any other social platform accounts, the thing we're going to have to do is that in order for us to be authentic, in order for us to feel comfortable, we have to set the parameters. And we set the parameters by telling people exactly what it is we do and who we are. And we have a very small amount of time to actually do this when it comes to Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. You have your bio. And we've created a system called a boss bio that explains exactly what people should come to expect from your account, which will then empower you to be authentic, to speak your truth, and speak what you are comfortable with about now. So in this next video, we're gonna walk you through step by step how to create a boss bio that will empower you to know why you're there, what to say, and what people can expect from your account. And we're gonna go into that right now. So first things first, I want to focus on a boss bio. So on Instagram and on Facebook. In this particular bootcamp, we're gonna focus on 2 of the biggest platforms. The same things apply to Twitter, to Pinterest, to YouTube. We will answer questions about that. I use all of those things as part of my marketing strategy. But if I had just to pick like the top performers, it would be Instagram and Facebook. Yeah. So we're gonna spend more than 90% of our time there. And even on Twitter and even on YouTube, the same way as Instagram and Facebook, you have a bio. This is gonna be your opportunity to literally, this is your business card. What does your business card say about your company? So we are going to fix the bio before we can fix the feed. So the bio is the foundation that we build the house on. So we're gonna move forward with that. So there's gonna be 5 pieces to a boss bio. And what we really wanna do in step number 1 is we wanna get focused with your title. Like people need to know, like when they're sitting with their girlfriends, when they are Christmas shopping and their sister-in-law comes around like, I don't know what to get my mother-in-law, they're gonna say, you have to follow this brand because what? We need to start teaching people how they're gonna describe us. We wanna use words, and I often tell people, I need you to explain what you do like I'm 5 years old. Because we have all seen people be really like emotional or sentimental about what they do. Like I'm a purveyor of fine goods and family heirlooms that last a long time. You're a photographer. Like we need to know in the simplest term, specifically because you have 150 characters on Instagram. So how do we get concentrated? You are known because you're a what? And I don't want, okay. I need to take a step back. When I get so focused about business, I become a little like, this is how it's done. But for the sake of growth for the next 30 days, I know there's a ton of shades of gray. But for the next 30 days, I want it to be black and white. And I know you can disagree with me. But just like Mr. Miyagi and Daniel-san, you don't know why you're waxing on and waxing off. Like, trust me, at the end of 30 days, we're gonna look back and be like, oh, that's why she was so annoying and said this. Okay, so I know that I'm coming in like real hard, but real hard, we're gonna get a sharp angle so that we can start growing. So explain this to me like I'm 5 years old. I want 1 or 2 word description about how they can describe. Why are they gonna be saying you have to follow Highway 3, shop Highway 3 on Instagram? Why are they gonna say you have to follow Indigo Tide Market? So we're gonna dive into number 1, shop Highway 3.
Oh,
okay.
Putting it on the spot, right?
Here we go. At the time when I shopped your businesses, prior to a shooting, when we had first decided to collaborate, you had 81,000 followers. You're following 7,500 followers. Your description, Highway 3, Aaron and Trisha at Highway 3 & Co., sisters, moms, friends, modern personalization for everyone, shop here. So we're gonna get into how we can kind of tweak this to make this better. But if we're getting into a description, prior to me knowing what you guys did, I went to your Instagram account, right? I went to your Facebook page. Mm-hmm. I looked at this and I was like, I don't know what you do.
Yeah.
So our boss bio.
We don't know what to say.
We're gonna work through that. We're gonna work through that. So the good news is I'm not gonna leave you hanging. We're gonna work through that. Okay. So.
Because that's, I think, one of our main, like when someone asks, like, what do you guys do? like
Deer in the headlights.
We're going to work on what we call the elevator pitch. I did not make up that term, but
we're a terrible elevator pitch.
Well, we're actually going to reframe every time I see anyone here frame something in a negative. I'm going to stop you, and for the next 2 days, we're going to stop that. Like, I'm terrible at an elevator pitch. No, you're learning how to create an elevator pitch. Yes. So there we go. So Indigo Tide Market, 3 followers. You're currently following 6 people. Wholesale and retail marketing, creative team of Amazon marketing and resale specialists, helping brands make more money by telling their story well on Amazon. Hello at indigotidemarket.com, indigotidemarket.com. So we're not going to talk quite yet. We're going to get through the 5 pieces of Boss Bio, then we'll revisit this. However, step number 1 of a Boss Bio was a description. By your bios, can I describe what your business does? That's going to be the barometer. Let's get into part 2 of a Boss Bio. We want to list the benefits for your followers. Why are these people going to follow you? Because what happens is that I know your business is great, and you know your business is great, and your daddy knows your business is great. But on social media, when there's a stranger, they have to say, always, is how does this benefit me? And oftentimes, categorically, it's I'm getting educated, I'm getting entertained, I have a form of escapism, these are helpful, I am intrigued, it's aspirational. People have these buckets of why they follow people. Now, if you're not telling people why they should follow you, they're not gonna know why they should follow you. So always lead with, what do you get by following my Facebook page? What do you get by following my Instagram account? So a few benefits for people. These are just a few ideas based on different businesses. Do you offer weekly tutorials? Do you offer daily recipes? Like, follow me, why? You get creative inspiration. Follow me because we give you ideas on how to be the best gift giver. Like, you're telling people why, like, what they're gonna get. We have to understand that your Instagram account isn't about you. If you have a personal Instagram account, I want it to be all about you. I don't care what you post. Your Fruit Loops, your kids, your dogs, your family vacations, unedited, all 100% you. You have to understand that your business account is only what you do for your followers. What do you do for them? As a business, you're in a place of service. You're not in a place of popularity, and you're not in a place quite yet of profitability. When you lead of service, everything else falls into place. Number 3, part of a Boss Bio is, who is your account for? We want to be super specific. Now, I understand, so yesterday we worked through your ideal client profile. We know who we're going after. I want you to identify and re-identify who that person is and say it again and again and again. Because what happens is when you can identify a segment of people, you're going to be drawing in that circle tighter, tighter, tighter. And when you have a really tight circle, these people believe in you. And they say, you're perfectly made for me. So, a few categories. Is your account for busy moms? Is your account for young entrepreneurs, single dads, fashion lovers, adventure seekers? You guys will attract 1,000% people who are not in this category. We know that. But when you put a stake in the ground and say, this is who I'm for, you're clearly delineating who your account is for. You will attract other people. But the kind of like looky-loos on the outside, people who are like, I don't know what this is about. If your account is vanilla, nobody knows what you're about. Pick your tribe. Serve them well. Because I have come to know, after working literally with thousands of businesses, is that when people feel like an account is like tailor-made for them, they're like, I have to follow Caitlin because I'm just starting my Amazon business and I just don't know, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to show up. When there's moms that are following you because they're just like me. We could drink Bahama Mamas together. Like when you have that, they only buy from you, even though you have a ton of competitors, and they only tell their friends about you. And then they post about you because they feel like they're part of your journey.
And we feel like we have that kind of, a little bit.
Good, good. We're gonna, exactly. You guys do have that. You guys have the girls next door. You guys have the moms that's relatable. The 4th part of a Boss Bio is going to be, how do people contact you? I know it's super basic because it's easy to say, well, my link is there. But how can we create personal relationships with people? Well, a couple ways. When you list your email, your phone number, an address, if you guys have a physical location, or even if you just hashtag what you think would be powerful. So hashtags in your bios are searchable on Instagram. So if you want to be found in a local market, that's great. Probably not as applicable to these 2 businesses, but if it was a florist, if I had a gym, if I was a private trainer or personal chef, having that hashtag is pretty darn amazing. So what we want to make sure is we have the 4 pieces. We have a description, we have the benefits, Like, why are they following you? We know who this is for. Then we now know how they're going to contact you. And the last and final piece is what I call a party favor. You want to give a gift so that you get a very, very important piece of their personal information, and that is their email. One thing is that you can have a strategy on your social platforms, but you can have a strategy that diversifies how you're connecting with your followers. I've come to believe that I cannot depend on a platform that is constantly changing and information I do not own. The thing that I own is my newsletter list. I am actively building that again and again. Our sales are driven. I can't speak for every business, but I probably could have a safe assumption that if you're using an email list with a strategy, that's going to be your biggest driver of sales. And this is coming from somebody who loves social media. So you can go deep with your audience via newsletter. They become like they trust you. They feel like they're the first to know things. So for me, I want to leverage social media to point it back to a list that I own. Because the thing is like on people on social media, number one question is, Jasmine, how do I get more followers? Question number two is, Jasmine, how do I get more customers? I've noticed that the two don't go hand in hand. People think if I got more followers, I would get more customers. If you're not converting the followers you have now, getting more followers is not going to get you more customers. So how do you get more customers? You go deep with them. You figure out how to sell to them in multiple platforms and show up in their inbox and not hoping or relying on an algorithm. So how do you do this? How are you going to build your newsletter list specifically from social media? You are going to create resources for your dream customers. This is what we're going to do. You're going to work active at this, and you're like, oh, this is another thing to do. If you had to do anything first, we're going to focus on those resources. Resources like, it could be an ebook, it could be a guide, it could be a checklist, it could be a video tutorial, it could be a quiz. You can have a book. So a lot of times when I see people are like, if you pay the shipping fees, I'll send you my book for free. And so they call it shipping and handling. So they cover the shipping, they add like $1 or $2 extra to cover the cost of the book, and then they send it. And then people have to submit their newsletter, their email. And then you have people in an email sequence to build up to a customer. So I believe that what happens often on Instagram, which is totally understandable, people say their exit link is to a blog post, their exit link is to a YouTube video, their exit link is to an About Me video. All of those are great, but you don't get any customer information. My exit links will always go to how can I go deeper and build a list of my own? Now you could say, some people might be watching and say, I've done it, it doesn't work. I am here to tell you that when I kind of pivoted my business and when I started laying down a strategy, I started off with one, like freebie. Well, I use interchangeable, so freebie, opt-in, resource. Those are all the same things. So if you hear me say that, I start off with one and it did nothing. Start off with two, it just did nothing. And I was creating resources that I thought people are gonna love this. This is definitely what they want. And it wasn't. So I started making a list of the top 10 questions that I'm asked. I went from my head, I'm like, I'm always asked this, I'm always asked this, I'm always asked this. And then for 2 weeks, I just kind of kept a tally. Oh, I got asked it again, I got asked it again, I got asked it again. And then I took the top 3 questions I'm always asked. And I said, okay, let's make a PDF. Now, that's what I'm always driving to. I make a PDF based on the most frequently asked questions. Now, when it comes to, I just think specifically for product, I love, love, love. Like Mother's Day is coming up in May. I would be running an opt-in to ads for a mom gift guide. And then I would be targeting men between 25 and 40. During Halloween, it's like your Halloween checklist. This has nothing to do with your product, but what are you doing? You're building out your database for your Black Friday, for your Christmas sale. So you're creating things that moms are looking for on the internet. You're gonna design it super cute, it's gonna be bright, it's gonna be brand reflective, and all you're doing is positioning yourself in a place of value and benefits. Caitlin, you offer services. You don't have to say like, download your list of how to work with an Amazon marketing specialist. No one's gonna do that. They're gonna say like, how do I get my first $1,000 on Amazon? Like we wanna go to what are the questions that people wanna know, create resources for them, point them back, and then on social, what we're gonna do is as we dive in to connecting with our followers, now that I have a resource, a book, a video, a guide on the most popular questions, when people are DMing me, being like, hey Jasmine, can you look at my Instagram account? And the answer is no. I don't do Instagram critiques. But if I just said no, that kind of leaves them hanging. I say, I do have an Instagram marketing resource. You can download it here. Jasmine, how do you prepare to go live? Well, I can't give you all the questions, but here's a resource on how I go live. Jasmine, I'm really trying to look my brand. I'm not taking consulting at this time, but here's a free branding guide. Every single thing on social points back to building the list. So we have to really focus on the bio before we move forward. We're laying the foundation, 5 pieces. Description, benefits, who it's for, contact information, give them a party favor. So let's look at how it's done on my account. My description, business strategist, photographer. Who is it for? Entrepreneurs. What's the benefit? Growing their social platforms. How do you contact me? There's my email address. Get free photos and video tutorials for your business here.
Yeah, it's so good.
I mean, and actually, the round of applause, it makes me like ill. Look, I just got the chills. I was like, no. I was like, because what I want to do with this boot camp is like, can I save you time? Can I save you the back and forth of trying to figure out what the heck we're actually doing on social? So we want to make sure that we're using your Instagram bio as your business card. We have 150 characters. Use them judiciously and choose that link with a strategy. And I just know you guys are going to come up with so many good opt-ins. Like, you're going to build that list. You're going to put them in a warm and fuzzy funnel. You're going to lead with your personality. And then when the time comes to sell, you don't sell immediately. Again and again, you give them resources, give them resources, give them resources, highlight, make their mom live, have pictures of you guys drinking Bahama Mamas, be like, we got away from the kids this weekend, cheers, a boomerang. Moms will just be like, oh, they're living their best life. That's what we need to do on social. So, highway 3, let's just work through, we don't have to get in the most perfect one right now. Okay. But I want to shape yours a little bit. Caitlin, I feel like yours kind of really was strong.
Yeah,
I felt like
hers says what she does.
Exactly.
It tells exactly what she does.
And you know how many tries I had.
Right. Okay, I want you to take back and weigh something a little bit when I check in with you in about a week. I love what it says, like I got it, but I'm also in that world.
Yeah, and that's
so for somebody, like when we think, like, forgive me, Chrissy? Mm-hmm. Your dream customer?
Yeah. Very good.
Chrissy. So Chrissy has a skincare line. Where is she at in her process? Would she read your bio and be like, oh, I get it? Or is she at the point of like, I know I need to be on Amazon, or I know I need to like do resale, like where do I start? Like, if she's newer in the process of selling online, specifically on Amazon, your description is gonna have to be a little bit dumbed down.
Okay.
Like, speak
and that's
to her.
where I struggle. Like, how do I dumb it down a little bit more? Because like, I want the people that are already on Amazon, but that are struggling. You know, they're
Great.
Like,
well, then good. Then if that's the case, then I would, if possible, see if you can play with because what you say is we help brands on Amazon tell better stories to make more money. I think that's great. It's a little nebulous, right? I love when people just put a stick in the ground. Like, okay, we help struggling. I'm just saying, I'm not saying you should do it.
No, I need
how
all
it
this,
feels.
yeah.
See how it feels. It's like we help struggling businesses on Amazon make more money.
Okay, and that would be amazing because that's.
But remember, when I say something, settle it against Chrissy, settle against where you're going, let it marinate, and then keep me posted how it feels.
Okay.
So, good. So what we're gonna do right now as an exercise is work through Highway 3 bio rewrite. Now let's describe your business, right? Cool.
Okay.
How many SKUs do y'all have? Oh, just off the top of your head.
Well, I mean, with color and variations and everything, there's a lot, but
I mean, probably like
300. I mean,
500.
Okay. With the colors.
Okay, so to bring everybody up to speed, a SKU is basically like a product number, right? Yes. Just in the dumbest form,
like
right?
We probably only have like 40 products or something.
So 40 products, but 300 SKUs because of the colors, of the text, and all that other stuff, right, for the product. Okay. What do you think is your biggest seller? What brings in the most profitability?
Our blankets.
Second highest?
Towels.
Yeah, beach towels.
So between the blankets and the towels, how much percentage-wise of revenue do you think that they're bringing in?
Compared to the other products?
Well, we're looking at 100% out of the whole.
75%.
Okay. Okay. So I'm wondering how it feels. I'm all about suggesting. If you have 2 SKUs that bring in 75% of your revenue.
Why have anything else?
Well, not why have anything else.
Yeah.
But what if you put a stake in the ground? Say, personalized blankets and towels for, and then we're going to describe the fabulous mom, the hardworking mom, the tired mom, the stressed mom, the thoughtful mom, right? We're going to just test this out for a little bit. Now, the more you say it and the more you grow, I promise you, you're gonna change it.
Yeah.
But for right now, when we're coming out, like, let's carve a tiny piece in our market and be known for that thing and drive it home again and again. I'm gonna revisit this back in a week in our online call. But I just want you to make a couple notes, right? Okay. Description. I'm just gonna throw it out, and then we'll kind of judge the 150 characters. But it's like, we provide personalized or customized, whatever, blankets and towels for, I want an adjective, blank moms.
Blank moms, okay.
Busy moms, fabulous moms, great moms, thoughtful moms. Okay, and it's okay. It could be tired and frazzled moms. Like, we have to remember, we're talking. She's from what part of Texas again?
Houston.
Houston. So we don't know. We don't know if she is like old money, oil money, and we don't know. But we don't know if she comes from like just a hardworking blue class family that's working her way on up. We are going to talk to those people differently. So, thing to note. And then we are going to remove sisters, moms, and friends, because remember, we want to lead with the benefit.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So it could be, we provide personalized or customized blankets and towels for the modern mom. And what's the benefit? Benefit, who wants to be known as the best gift giver, who gives thoughtful gifts. Benefit be like, we provide blankets and towels for the modern mom who wants to stay on the cutting edge of motherhood, whatever. And then we're going to buttress this notion, this big claim, by the free gifts you guys give away.
Okay.
Cool. So we'll play with that a little bit. Okay. And then I would love if you guys could put in an email address or a phone number. So we have all of our customer success reps. Everybody on our team has an @JasmineStar email address, because anytime I CC somebody, I want to make sure that everything's on brand. So definitely invest in that. I think it would be worth it. And Caitlin, I would definitely start right now for you to have 2 separate email addresses, so that people don't feel like they have direct access to you. And even if at this point in time you're the person who's corresponding, that's fine. Okay. But I would. Yeah, I wouldn't know if right now, due to the volume in your business, so for people who aren't quite familiar, we're gonna get to your business structure. It's not like we have like a plethora of clients in your business. And like, so to me, in my mind, it'd be like, let's use our money judiciously. Okay. And so right now, I would just break up the email addresses. And then if you put out contact information, it would go to probably you, but not have it be like Caitlin at Indigo.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So that was a lot of information. 150 characters was like a 40-minute conversation, but it's so important. If you're saying I'm having a hard time showing up as me, we set the parameters and we exist within those parameters. One thing I want to point out, because we brushed over it really quickly, is the importance of what are the questions that people are asking you the most. Just take some time and keep track of it. And of those top 3 questions that people are asking the most, could you create a very simple PDF? I am not talking about anything complicated. And then use that to grow your newsletter list when people ask. Because people like DM me and it's like they want like a personal consultation. And I was like, it's not happening in the DMs. And I feel like I'm only gonna be losing in that situation, because I'm not gonna answer in the way that they want, because it's not long and thoughtful enough. And I don't want to ignore it, because I want to make sure that I'm responding to the DMs I'm getting. In order for me to create a win, I created a resource where I feel is the best representation of my business. I can give somebody a freebie. It creates a brand recognition and a brand experience, and I'm growing my newsletter list along the same time. It takes a little time, but you build a customer over time. So we're gonna get into questions and answers. And we are getting in towards the end of day 1. So let's shake it out, bring me the energy that we need. And if there is anybody who would like to take a hot seat, we are going to be giving that opportunity. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into some online questions. And so if you have an in-person question, not the hot seat quite yet. If you have a question, can you please raise your hand and we'll get the mics. Great, so we'll go 1, 2, and then we have another one back over there. So April, what if we are more interested in showcasing my product more than myself? I'm more interested in getting people to recognize my product within a specific geographical area and not casting a wide following outside of my area. Beautiful. April, I love that. I want people to recognize your product. My question then to you, April, and anybody else who feels the same way is, are you selling something that is so original and patent pending and proprietary? If it is not those things, you're selling the same thing somebody else is selling. That's just facts. So if you're saying I want to lead with my product and the product is being sold by other people, how then do you stick out? You could show photos of yourself. But if you're so against that, then darling, you have to do something interesting. You have to reinvent the product in a new way. You have to hire models to do the thing that you don't want to do yourself. All of that is okay. I am just saying to have a strictly product-driven Instagram account feels like QVC on the IG, and nobody wants that. So, April, you don't want to lead it with you? No problem. Got to work a little harder to think about something creative. But I stand by that ardently. We'll go to a question in the back.
Hi, thanks very much for spending the day with us.
Thank you for being here. I love this stuff.
My question is, how do you pivot your business? So I am a container garden designer and garden photographer. And the more questions I get are not about container design, they're more about how do I do Instagram stories and use gardening in my business and tell better stories. And so I am starting to answer what people are asking of me with my PDFs, and I just don't know how to serve both of those audiences and segue on to my new audience for what people are asking.
Can you explain it to me like I'm 5? What does your business do?
I'm a container garden designer, so I plant flowers in pots and take pictures of them and travel around the world taking pictures of gardens and getting those into magazines. But more people are asking me, how do I do the social part? And how do I grow my garden design business or landscaping business?
So freaking cool. Wow, that is it. Like, you're living your best life.
Yeah.
Like, no, just think, okay, but on the reals. She plants in containers and takes pictures of them, and she travels the world to take pictures of gardens.
And nobody asks me how to plant plants in pots. They're more interested in the photography part, so I'm trying to answer that.
Have you thought about monetizing that?
Yeah, I've done one in-person workshop with a nursery that's developing their online business, and I have got a couple of talks lined up, but I'm just trying to figure out how to segue into the new market.
So people are asking, so are we talking about other plant containers, people who want?
No, nurseries, garden centers, landscapers.
So incredible.
Yeah.
Like, that to me shows that there's a market with money who want to pay you for what it is you do. And you're not, and I firmly believe that stories are a great way to build relationships, but the minute that it gets into full-on educating via DM, that's your time. Protect your time. So, I believe that depending on who is asking, you would have like a different avenue. So when somebody asks me to be on a podcast, I have a very specific way that we go through that. When somebody asks me to speak on a stage or speak at an event or ask me a question, there's all these different avenues. Now, obviously the people who have a budget, and in your case, the nurseries, in your case, the landscape architects who have budgets, I would send them on a very particular path. I would love to know, so my response would be, I'd love to know a little bit more about what you are really intrigued with, and then the more you ask these questions, it will then guide you on how to create the content.
Okay.
That will first start off with the freebie, most likely, and or get personal attention from you. And you could charge a premium for that.
That's the hope.
And you know, there's you can just screen record your phone if you're using an iPhone. You just swipe up, you'll see the screen record, you screen the record, and you create a short video tutorial on what you do for your stories and talk about the byproduct. Because people don't want to do the work blindly. People want to do the work knowing the results will come. So how do you get John Doe Nursery in New Jersey to buy a $49 PDF with an accompanying video from you when they can Google it? What they want to know is how are you doing it in my market, and you're developing your following. I want to know what you do, and that's what you charge for. Okay. The market is talking to you. Mm-hmm. And when the market talks, I do not automatically say, of course you should do that. When the market talks and you say, I think I would really enjoy that, then you start creating products. Will it happen next week? No. Will it happen next month? Probably not. But when you start facilitating those conversations with the landscape architects and with the other nurseries that have money, then you know how to position it in relation to results. Foster the relationship on DM, have them send you an email, and then you guide them to where they need to go from there. But I think what you do is so incredible. Did we go deep enough in the answer?
Sure.
That's not an answer. What do we want to do next?
Well, my question was currently on the grid, and it's just pretty pictures of plants, and I get engagement with a good combination, but it's not, I'd like to segue more into showing somebody how to use Instagram, and it's a different audience. And so I'm trying to figure out how
Actually,
to
I think that might be a story you're telling yourself. Because I think it's the same audience, but only a portion of the audience will pay for it.
Okay.
So I know, we got some eyebrows raised, okay.
Okay.
I know the large majority, and this statistically, when you sell on social, when you sell online, you get anywhere from a 2 to 4% buy-in. So rule of thumb, you wanna sell something online, 2 to 4% of the thing that you're selling, people will buy. So 2 to 4% of your audience will buy a thing, but when you start creating like tutorials like in your highlights, people who are following you, they want to do the thing that you do, even if they have a business or not. If they don't have a business, they're not gonna pay you because they have no way to monetize what it is they know, but they wanna know what you're doing so that they could do it in their home garden in springtime in Illinois. And they're gonna love you for it because you gave it to them for free. And then you're gonna build trust with the people who do buy. And they're gonna navigate that conversation, create the resources and create the funnels. Is that a little bit closer?
Yes.
Can we go any deeper? I don't want people walking away being like, I didn't close it the way that I wanted.
I'm not even sure what questions I want to ask yet.
Okay, no problem. Well, we got 3 days. We got 3 days.
Yeah.
I know we have, I don't know if we have any other online questions. We'll get those populated. I know somebody else has a mic. And then as the questions come, like, please don't think like I've used my time. Like, that would annoy me. Okay.
On every Instagram bio you popped up, you noted their amount of people that were following them and the amount of people that they were following. Does that matter? We follow more people than follow us. I don't know.
No, it doesn't matter at all.
Okay.
It has
You
no
just-
impact on the
okay.
algorithm. It has nothing.
Okay.
The word of caution that I would encourage people is not to follow out of obligation. This is where we teeter on the follow for follow. And then people get really annoyed. So the follow for follow is people wonder, Jasmine, I gained 4 followers yesterday and I lost 5 followers today. Well, I don't know who the fool was to say, this is how you grow your Instagram, because it does work, but it's so shady. It's go through and follow 50 accounts in one day, and then you wait 2 days, and then you go back and you unfollow all of those accounts, because people are being polite, and they follow you back. So then what that account ends up doing is getting a follower and unfollows you. And this is so strong and prevalent in what is happening on Instagram. So what happens is, and I'm definitely not saying that this is happening for you, but if you're following a lot of people to be polite, and then you go into Instagram and you're like, I don't know who I'm serving, I don't know why I'm here, I don't know why they're here, and it's convoluting, then you take a step back and be like, okay, who do I want to follow? So you will follow people who inspire you, empower you, educate you. You also follow people who could become potential customers. And in that case, you do you. But I only want to encourage people to not follow people to be polite. I love politeness. But when you follow out of just like gumption, that's inauthentic. You should really look at an account, be thoughtful about it, and say, I think I can offer value, and I think they can offer value. When it's mutual, it's a win. But no, it has no bearing whatsoever on the algorithm if you're following more people than are following you. I love that question. Thank you. Okay, question.
Easy pass. Can you speak to the straight like email opt-in link versus Linktree, tap bio, things like that?
Okay, Linktree, tap bio. When you go to Linktree, you will have a link in your Instagram account, and then it takes you to a page with a bunch of different links that people can find what it is that you want to point them to. I don't necessarily have a problem with Linktree, but I also know that when people have to make a decision and they get overwhelmed, they don't make a decision. That's like science. It's proven. And so if I know that I can get somebody and give them exactly what they want, there's a higher likelihood of them opting in. 9 times out of 10, what I see on Linktree is sign up for a freebie, my YouTube channel, a recent blog post, what I did on vacation, and the minute somebody else goes on a trail, I lost my customer acquisition. Linktree did me a disservice. I have seen people use like an exit link. I saw this on the inside of the social curator group, but I thought it was fascinating. I think I'm gonna start testing it, is having my exit link to a blog post, and in that blog post, my top 5 most popular opt-ins. So I could change my exit link to download these free resources for your social media growth, or get more followers. I would find out what that little copy is gonna be to get them there. And once they're there, the only thing they can do is opt in. And they can't, even if they get overwhelmed, I don't know which one to choose. Well, at least you're gonna choose one that's gonna ultimately lead to where I want you to go, not sending to other things. No tea, no shade on Tap Bio. I think it's beautiful. I think it's sexy, it's fun. It's also super distracting to me. I think it's so rad, but it feels like it's an app within an app, and it's not getting people to where I want them to go. So I know Jesse, I have love for him. He's a great guy. He's a brilliant developer. I just know my people and how I'm using it for business, and it wasn't synergistic for me. So, thank you. I love that question. Thank you. Online, Claudia, what's the benefit of Instagram TV versus stories? Stories disappear after 24 hours. IGTV is your own video channel on Instagram. I cannot say enough good thing about IGTV. I just can't. I feel like what we're looking at is a stinking gold mine of opportunity. And guess what? I'm not talking about it in the boot camp. I don't have a section for it. Because the boot camp, IGTV isn't part of the system. It doesn't hinge on the system. And I don't want people to get overwhelmed. I will absolutely talk about it. The minute IGTV came out, I saw it and then my eyes melted and I was like, this is YouTube for people who missed the YouTube bus, which was yours, truly. And I was like, okay. And everybody was taking their old videos in horizontal and putting them in IGTV, which were causing people to flip the camera. But because I'm a nerd, I was doing a lot of research, and in the Snapchat world, studies had shown that only half of the people, not even half of the people, some huge number of people, is when people were made to flip their phone, they swiped away from the story entirely. That says a lot about human behavior. So, when I knew that, and I saw IGTV came out, within the first week of it, I put out a poll, and I said, can you help me decide, should I do IGTV horizontal or vertical? 90+% of people said, make it vertical. So then I was like, okay. So I'm working with the videographer. Now, before anybody thinks anything, over a decade, I made my own videos, and I edited them in iMovie. It kills the game. You could do magic in that thing. I just got a little, the business grew, and I was like, I need to start outsourcing. I found a videographer. The content that I create for YouTube is the same content that I create for Facebook. I post my Facebook videos, and these videos range anywhere from 4 to 6 minutes. I post my Facebook video on a Monday. I post my YouTube video on a Wednesday. I'm staggering the content. And then I ask my videographer to please edit the same video, but vertically for IGTV. And just recently, a couple weeks ago, I posted a 60-second video. So you can post up to a 60-second video on your feed, on Instagram, as a post. And now you can incorporate your IGTV videos on your feed. It's a setting. You just have to set it, and it'll go there. Now, I'm all about testing. So I posted a 59-second video on my feed, and it did okay. It did okay. Like, it was around 11,000 views. I went back and I talked to my videographer, and I was like, that seems a little funny to me. That didn't seem like it felt right. I asked him to add 4 seconds to the video. I was like, I don't care what footage. Add any footage. So that the minute it goes over a minute, it automatically catalogs in IGTV. The same video with an extra 4 seconds on IGTV got 60,000 views. Instagram is prioritizing IGTV, at least right now, because not a lot of people are using it. Whenever I see something like that in social land, I'm like, go there, go there, go there, go there. So now my objective with my videographer, I was like, I know this is not gonna last. This is just like a flittering thing. The YouTubers who kill the game are gonna go to Instagram and start creating for Instagram. The minute that happens and there's this avalanche of followers there, I lose like the little kind of like, oh, got the jump start, and that's okay. I'm here for whatever ride I can get for free, okay. And that video, all organic, 60,000+ views, all organic, promoting an Instagram challenge I was doing. I'll take that every day and twice on Sunday. So the difference between IGTV and stories disappear. IGTV becomes your own TV channel on somebody's phone, which is mind-blowing. Like, do you guys understand the renaissance that we're living in? There were times 20 years ago where 5 men who lived in an upper-class life, who had a lot less melanin in their skin than I do in mine, were determining what we were all gonna see on any given night of the week. And now we get to say who's gonna watch our stuff, and we win. So I think to myself as a business owner, I have my own marketing channel, I have my own TV channel, and I have a group of people who want to see the thing that I want to do. Hot dang. How can I not follow my dreams? My grandparents fought for their child to live in a different country to do something magical that wasn't in a sweatshop. Sewing bathing suits she couldn't afford for her kids, sewing shoes that she couldn't afford for her son. It is a shame if I don't take the tools that I have been given to change my life. That's why I'm passionate, not about social media. Next month, something comes out called Bobble Beep, and it's free, and you can go and do that. I'll be on Bobble Beep. I'm just saying, we have the tools. Who are we not to use them? People are like, oh, but I don't have a videographer. I don't know what to do. You want to know this thing? It's called YouTube. It'll teach you how to edit. You create content that doesn't have to be great, but speaks to the heart of your customer, you're winning. You don't believe me? Try it. And for the first 20 times you do it, you're gonna suck. It's gonna be awful. But the people who win are the people who take that 1 degree of change, that 1 degree of change, that 1 degree of change. That's the game. 100. So, long answer to what's better, all of it, depending on who your customer is and how they wanna see your content. So, there's that. One thing to say too about Instagram Live, I'm just riffing now, so if there is another question, please ask, because I also want to do a hot seat. I'm also testing. I like just to talk about what I'm testing. So I go live every Tuesday and then one other random day of the week. This goes back to what we were talking about, Rebecca. People need to develop a level of consistency. So every Tuesday between 8 and 10 in the morning, Pacific Standard Time, I host Coffee and Conversations. People come on Instagram Live and they ask me questions. I do real time talking back to people and coaching. I hate the word coaching, but it is what it is. So we do this coaching. And then I do this another random time of the week. I asked my videographer if I were to save the live, because we do a live around 25 to 30 minutes. And let's be real, not every question is great. Not every answer is great. But every so often you hit one that the audience just like really pops on. And again, I only listen to the market. When I see a bunch of comments, when I see a bunch of likes, I'm like, okay, this is the fire one. I save that one, and then I send it to him, and I say, I did an Instagram live, and this is going to disappear in 24 hours. But I save it, and I say, can you clip from this minute to this minute, and can you edit it so it's just my face, my face, both our faces, add some memes, add some text. And what we took from an Instagram live, we condensed it to an IGTV. It's not about working harder, but working smarter, using the content that the market has spoken that they really like.